Hi guys and welcome to today's video. Today I thought I'd do a little haul. Obviously, as you can see from the title of this video, it's a Pat McGrath haul, Mother Pat. I literally finished work like a couple of hours ago, did a little bit of housework and have just literally just touched up my lips. So sorry that my makeup's pretty boring today. It was just like work makeup, you know, and I really could not be asked to redo it for the sake of a haul video, because let's be honest, I'm focusing on the product, not particularly on my face. So Mother Pat had a sale on her website. I think it was 40 or 50% off recently, like for quite a long time, from Black Friday all throughout like the holiday period and into the new year. She's had that sale on for quite a while, and I did take full opportunity to stock up in terms of filling out all of my Mothership palette collection. I was this close, to buying a foundation, concealer and the powder, but I've decided I'm going to save that for next time. Like, I can't buy everything all at once. Like, I can buy everything, but just not all at once. So yeah, I thought I'd hold back on that one. If you've ever tried Pat McGrath like base products like foundation, concealer or powder or primer or anything like that, like basey, then let me know, because I've never tried them before. I have dry skin for reference, so if you've got any thoughts and feelings about them, like can you let me know please, because it's kind of on my radar as to something I want to buy. Anyway, rambling like kind of over, I picked up like every single Mothership palette that I didn't have, which was quite a few of them. Can we not talk about how much money I've spent? Do remember, I don't pay full price for anything. It's like my little tagline. I don't pay full price. I don't want to pay full price, especially when it's like Pat McGrath prices. I don't want to pay full price for that. So I do wait for sales because I know she's going to have them at the end of the year. And yeah, like she did have them, and I stocked myself up. So here we go. Literally an order full of Motherships. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I've just bought 5 bloody eyeshadow palettes. Ah! So let's start off with the most recent palette that she's brought out in terms of the Mothership collection. This is the Moonlight Seduction. I'll be honest, I've opened this box to make sure that everything was in it, but I haven't actually like undone them yet, so I'm pretty excited. I do keep all of these boxes, by the way, because not only are they a mini art piece of artwork, they're also expensive and I would like to preserve it as much as possible. So nothing's broken. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's making me feel some kind of way. This is what Moonlit Seduction looks like. Hopefully with the changing of light as I turn, you can kind of see the texture and the different like depth to the shadows. I do find that Pat McGrath's mattes go on slightly deeper onto the skin than they do in the pan. I will be swatching all of these at the very end, and yeah, I'll kind of like rank them, I guess, after I've swatched them as to which one's my favourite. I feel like this is going to be one of those palettes that it's like where to start in Pat McGrath if you've never owned a Mothership palette before. I feel like it's going to give me one of these vibes of these. They're not Astral Blitz shades, interestingly, apparently, but they're like intense shimmers and they look stunning. So can't wait to swatch these. This is the Moonlit Seduction. I am absolutely so hyped for this palette. I've wanted this palette for so long and it's been out of stock for so long. So when I saw it back in stock and it was on sale, I was like, buy, 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 buy. So this is the Mothership 3 Submersive palette. This is one of their original 3. This is the 3rd palette she released. So, you know, throwing it back. This has been out of stock for quite a while, and yeah, she was back in stock. It's not broken. Oh, look at this. This is like a grungy dream. I love all makeup, let me just put it out there. I love natural makeup. I'd call this natural makeup, like very like no makeup makeup-y. I love colourful makeup, but I do love a grungy moment. I love a grungy moment. I feel so like, I'm just gonna say it, I feel very sexy, very sensual. I'm very like feeling myself in like a very grungy, colourful, sultry, blown out eye. I love it. It's the vibe that I'm just like, I love it, okay? So this palette is just, I feel embodies the grunge. I love the purple and like these blues. This gold is very gold. It's very, very gold. I don't typically apply golds like that, but I feel like in combination with the other shades, it could look really nice. Yeah, you can see the depth of it, but you can see the gold's like the high shine, and then when I like point it away from the light, like look how shiny these are. These are so, so pretty. I will just like bring it back so you can see the true tone against like my skin tone. It's really, really pretty. This looks amazing. Oh my god, the black shimmer. I feel like it's not going to be my most used palette, but it's one of those where I just really wanted it for completion, if I'm perfectly honest. But yeah, it's uber pretty, and I cannot wait to swatch these Astral Blitz. Even the metallics look really cool. Love it. I also picked up the Mothership 2 Sublime. This again is like throwing it back to, you know, the first couple of palettes that she released. I didn't like, how do I word this? I wasn't overly bothered about this one, but if I'm perfectly honest, by the time I'd added the rest of them to my cart, I was like, oh, this is the only one that's not, like, I don't have anymore. So, like, you know, when you're buying like 4 Pat McGrath palettes, what's another one? This is this palette. That was good English. This is this palette. I don't feel inherently inspired by this palette. I think it might be the gold that throws me off, or is it the green? I'm not sure. Without the green, it's very neutral, very boring. But I am a hoe bag for a good green, so I don't know why the green is throwing me off. But then I cover it up and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty palette. But maybe it's the gold as well. I'm not sure about these two shades. Maybe it's because they're right next to each other. It gives me like Christmas vibes, but not in a good way. Like very, what's the word? Like I expect it. Like it's not very surprising. I don't know. I don't know how to describe myself, but this comes with some really good mattes. Again, it comes with a black. I think the first 3 all came with blacks. So like as in the black in the bottom left corner. It's not blowing my socks off, but I might change my opinion once I get to swatch it. And like I said, once you're ordering so many Pat McGrath palettes, what's another one? And I do actually recall, I got one of them 30% off. This was the Moonlight Seduction. And I think the other 2, she had bundles on near like the holiday time, which was buy 2 for the price of 1. So I got this one and this one for the price of 1, and then I picked up another 2, and the other 2 were the Divine Rose and the Divine Rose 2 palette. I'll be honest, like I'm really late to the bandwagon on this one. The thing is with me is I like neutral makeup. Like as you can see, I do wear neutral makeup, especially for work when I just can't be bothered. But for me, I'm kind of like, neutral makeup is one of those things where I don't need it to look chef's kiss. I just kind of want to throw a bronzer through the crease and I'm like, I'm out the door, you know? Sometimes I just want it to enhance my natural beauty as opposed to anything else. So I've always held off with the Divine Roses because they're just like not very exciting for me. However, like I said, it was 50% off, buy 1, get the other one free, like get it 2 for the price of 1. And I've paid like for 2.5 palettes and I've got 5. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm kind of like meeting Pat halfway here. So this is the Divine Rose 1. I love the packaging on these. I think it's really pretty. I do prefer this one with like the crown, just because I like the golden crown on it. I'm not so much of a fan of this like rose, but each to their own. And we have another winner. Oh, it does look pretty actually in person. Like I said, this is the first time I'm seeing them too. That looks magical. Oh, it looks wet. It looks wet. Sorry, I'm like looking at this in my mirror for the first time, so I'm kind of like, yeah, you can see it later. This is like, I need to observe. Oh, this peach is pretty. I don't know if that's picking up on camera, like how peach it is. That you can kind of see. Sorry, it's not focusing, it's focusing on my face. It goes from like peach to gold to pink. Like that's really pretty. This one is like wet. It's wet and I love it. Again, got another gold. Pat loves her golds and her mauvey tones. I just feel like this is a bit predictable. However, it is actually quite nice. I feel like with the peach and this like glittery shade here, mixed in with these taupey tones, that could actually be really nice. I feel like this could surprise me. This could surprise me. I could have held off for so long and gone, this is one of my favourite palettes. Who knows? But actually, this is prettier than I thought it was going to be in person. I thought it was going to be more pinkier, like more rose toned, considering it's called Divine Rose. And actually, apart from this one, which has got a pink shift, I don't know if you saw that as I went up close. And you see that it's got like, I don't know if you can actually, that top left. Oh yeah, you can there you go, there you can see. You can see like the pink shimmer. It's got a pink shift to it, and this one is kind of rosy, but actually the other one's a very mauve tone. Like that's a brown, taupe, taupey mauve again, bronze. Like it's actually not as pink as I thought. Interesting. Okay. And then finally we have the Divine Rose 2, which I think this is the one with the like multi-chrome or duochrome in it, which does appeal to me. Ooh, that's so much more pink than I was expecting. See, this is what I thought, like a little bit more pinky vibes. That's what I thought the Divine Rose 1 was going to be like. Again, Pat with her gold. How many gold? I should swatch every Pat McGrath gold. I should be like, are they actually the same? Because I bet they're pretty damn close. This is really, really pretty. I love this shade here. It's like this peachy orange shimmer, really beautiful. I'll get up close in a second. These pinks are really interesting. Where's the duochrome? Is it this one? Oh no, it's this one. It's this one here. So that's a pink to green, I think. Pink to green. Oh, there you go. You can see the flash of green there. Woohoo! The pink to green, awesome. I've just stabbed it with my nail. Even better, even better. The peaches are really nice. I actually like this palette. Maybe I've been holding off on the Divine Roses for no reason. This is actually really, really pretty. I'll just give you a little bit of an up close and personal viewing of this. Those Blitz Astrals look really, really nice. And actually the mattes are pretty bright. Like this one here, this matte, I mean, it's like a matte. I mean, it's kind of like a satin actually, rather than a matte. It's obviously not a perfect matte, but to me this looks more satiny, like it'll go on sheeny. Really, really pretty. But goddamn, Pat, how many golds do we need? Okay, so let's swatch all of these up. I think what I'm going to do is just kind of swatch all of them in bulk, kind of put the name perhaps on the bottom of the screen, put a little bit of music over it, and just instead of live swatching them, I want to get like some nicer swatches on my hands and be able to show you the shifts and do all of that. So I'll just swatch all of them in one go, and then we can just talk about them and talk about which one's my favourite. Let's go swatch. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed those swatches. I certainly enjoyed swatching them. My hand isn't too stained, to be fair. Like, you can see a little bit of remnants, but it's not too stained considering I've just swatched 5 palettes. I have got to say, I saw so much repetition in some of these palettes, which is really interesting, especially with the shiny shades. Like the mattes, we all kind of know that Pat McGrath does the same 2 mattes, a brown and like a rosy mauvey colour. But I was really surprised by some of the shimmers, so I think I want to do a separate video, like a swatch party, if you're interested, with my entire Pat McGrath Mothership collection and swatching really similar shades, because I feel like if you're buying a palette for a specific shade, it could possibly be in a lot of them, you know? So I would like to do that video if you'd like to see it. Hopefully you do, because I'd really like to do that, and you know, showing you all the golds, showing you all the matte browns, and just kind of like doing a bit of a comparison, seeing which is the best of the best quality out of all them all, and kind of doing that sort of thing. So absolutely delighted with these palettes. I think they're great quality, especially the glittery Astral Blitz. I think they just make these palettes phenomenal. The matte formula isn't my favourite from Pat McGrath. Like, it's nice, it's just nothing to write home about in my personal opinion. If I was to like just quickly on just first impressions, I'm not even applying on the eyes, literally just swatching them and going by colour story, that is all we're going by really. Just a quick ranking, this probably being my least favourite, the Mothership. Oh, it's not even on the back. This is the Mothership 2 Sublime. The only reason it's not my favourite is just because it was just okay. It's something that I probably wouldn't apply all the time. This creamy, like metallic-y situation up here was a little bit disappointing. There's a black, the brown's nice. These are just like, those shades are just nice, like nothing's particularly special. And then the Blitz Astral were also nice. I feel like I've realised what I don't like about the gold and the green. I love all of these shadows, I just don't think I love them together. And like, that's my main thing. If I could take these out and put them with different palettes, I think I'd like them more. Like this with a matte green or like a grungy yellowy like brown shade, I think would be glorious, and the same goes with the gold. I just don't think it goes with the pink too much, which is why it's throwing me off. So this one is like my least favourite out of them so far. I think I'm going to put this one next. This is actually stunning. This is just the Divine Rose 1 palette. This shade here is just so wet and sumptuous, and this one was just so peachy and glorious. It was actually a really, really nice palette. Every shade swatched really well, and I really did like it. I literally, there's nothing bad I can say about it. Maybe just a little bit more depth would have been nice. It's quite flat in that sense. It's got some, you know, some light shades, but honestly, like, there's nothing really deep and dark. Ironically, I think this could have done with not a black, but a really deepened brown would have been really lovely in this palette. So this is probably the next one that I like. The third one, I think this is Submersive. It doesn't even have a sticker. It doesn't have a sticker. What's it called? Yeah, the Mothership 3 Submersive. Interestingly, although I was the most excited for this one, or like this was one of the most exciting ones to me, the quality isn't as good as her later palette. So this is obviously one of the original 3, and I feel like between this one and the Mothership 2, I think this is Mothership 2, did I say? The Sublime. I felt like there was a bit of a quality difference between these two and the newer ones, which is interesting. But this one definitely felt nicer. I definitely enjoy the colour story more interesting shades. This is really pushing the boat out, and you know, it's very different for Pat McGrath. There's no rosy tones. It's a bright purple, this black based blue, this, try and say that 3 times fast, this black based gold. The pink is really like fuchsia. The purple is like very deep and plummy. There's some really nice shades here, and I really like it. The next palette I think I like the most is the Divine Rose 2. I think this is really unexpected for me because, again, the Divine Rose palettes, I was expecting the Submersive, was it Submersive? I keep getting mixed up. Yeah, Submersive. I was expecting that to be above this palette, but actually this was really, really lovely quality. This like peachy gold, beautiful. This duochrome, really, really nice. The pink was nice. Everything about this palette was actually really, really lovely, and yeah, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. After swatching out, I was like, ooh, this is really fun and summery. So yeah, I really, really like this one. I've got to say though, the one that reigns supreme for me, just on first impressions, just swatching it, is the Moonlit Seduction. This is stunning. These 5 shades here are chef's kiss. I've got to say, these 3 mattes are boring as hell. It does lack depth. They have the brightness, and these shimmers are, honestly, I mean, you saw the swatches. I'm just going to flash these swatches up again because honestly, these 5 here on this side of my hand were absolutely breathtaking. And I feel like if you are after a Pat McGrath palette and you don't know where to start, then there are a couple in her collection that I think are worth going for. I can definitely sort of talk about that at length if you want, and talk about, like, maybe I can do a ranking of all these palettes once I've kind of got to know these 5. And yeah, I think this is like one of the best ones to start. Definitely it's one of the top 3 to start, you know, to try out her Motherships. So yeah, I really, really like this one. I thought I was going to like it, and I really, really do. So those are the 5 palettes. I'm really excited to, like I said, bring these into my collection, have them as not only a collector's piece, but actually get to use them, get to know them, compare them to my other Pat McGrath palettes. I'm really excited for that. And like I said, it'll enable me to do things like rankings. I can have like a really good view on like what to get. And again, I would like to compare some of the shadows across all of the Mothership palettes to see what duplications there are and things like that. So I'm glad that I took the opportunity of the sale to sort of complete my collection as such of the Motherships. Please do let me know, are any of her base products worth picking up? If you have them, if you watched reviews, could you tell me whose review to watch, if you trust someone's review? Like I said, I have got dry skin, but I am open to watching other people's reviews if they're reliable to go to. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Like I said, if there's any more other content from what I've mentioned so far with like Pat McGrath specifically, because obviously we're calling Pat McGrath, if there's anything else you want to see from me, do just comment it down below. I do take note of anything that you do request, even if you're waiting a little while for it because I have a backlog. I still keep it on my things to film list. So if there's something that you really, really want to see and you see someone else's comment, like it, you know, like the more people that I see request something, I'm going to push it up the priority list to film. So yeah, if there's anything else you want to see, please let me know. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Thumbs the video up if you did enjoy today's video. Hit subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't already to be notified of all the videos I upload. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!